standard composition coming in here from Rrq Akira, but good amounts of early game damage that they could play around with this Zusin.
The final pick is going to be Vexana, which I did point it out. It was a very comfortable hero for Rrqa. Yesterday, when they picked up the Vexana, it was quite tough to play again into Incilio.
Be Rrq Akira on the blue side versus Legion Esports on the red.
The Fallen Empire in Group B looking to rebuild that kingdom. Of course, alongside this Mekong representative has the first seat of MCCM for quite a long time. Eternal rivals of Nightmare Esports, but also the spearhead of the Vietnamese region as a whole. We're seeing that early oppression from this Zusin, even in lane. There really isn't nothing much. So we're seeing Legion Esports do the exact same thing yesterday against Incilio, where they do that lane swap, putting that Vexana in the XP lane.
It can be very effective in the correct matchups here, and this means that Rrqa will just be able to hold lane against Tekashi and not really allow him to get aggressive advantage. Joe able to get the litho as well, so a good start.
Very, very good start for the side of Legion. I want to remind you guys quickly, again, if you don't know yet, the M6 Pass is available from 18th of November to 29th of December. During the event, you can level it up, play games, support your teams, and get skins like the Baxia special skin, the Claude M6 exclusive skin, and even exclusive borders, portraits, recall effects, even a statue. And Lewis gets out of that.
Oh, a bit unlucky for Joe. Lewis was able to jump into the bush just in time, which meant that the Ogi Shadow kill bounced over to the crab instead.
He did get the crab, right? So it's not too bad for Joe, but it does expand the flicker from Luis. Thankfully, he has the quicksand guard, so he heals back up. And I like the fact that Rrq Akira, they are mobilizing this Zusin to constantly put pressure on to Legion Esports. Make sure that if they want to move around, they can't do it.
I mean, that's why you pick up a Zusin, right? You want to take advantage of her pressure on the map, especially in the first couple of minutes, because it's hard to beat the displacement this hero has. With the two tanks in the mid lane, though, Legion are able to start harassing the turtle very early on. Here comes Sagan and Tekashi, building up the Lantern Flare stacks, gonna be able to pull up the high-lows, but Nard is dealing with King by himself. Spirit of Alpha used to jump behind him. Will he be able to get the turtle away?
Huh?
No! Rrqa finishes him off. First blood given to the Vexana, but Luis still steals the turtle away.
Such a weird interaction. First of all, Rrq Akira completely ignored their jungler who is getting gone on by Legion Esports, so King ends up going down, but they salvage it by taking the turtle off of Luis's damage. A pretty awkward moment, awkward sequence for both teams, but Legion Esports will really hope that they get... Is it significant enough?
To be honest, I think it is. I think it's a really great idea of breaking the meta, because the idea is you always want to unlock your EXP lane from the lane so that you can join team fights, right? What better way to do that than by putting him in the mid lane so that he's already not bothered with unlocking that, and putting your mid laner against a melee fighter that is very easily poked.
That as well. So far, it hasn't really affected Rrq Akira that much. Again, no lead, as I believe you did mention to me that Rrq Akira isn't really the fastest team as well, right? There have been signs of passiveness yesterday, which is pretty interesting because Legion Esports have been known to go fast, but perhaps the adjustment after yesterday have forced them into a more cautious approach.
I think the cautious approach is good though, because Rrq Akira, when they start fights, have a tendency to go too far at times, which causes inconsistency, right? When they take the fights they want, they're really good at it. You can see their micro skills on display. But when they mess up a little bit, it gets so messy.
Legion Esports have been doing a fantastic job of just mirroring the movements. I think a lot of that focus will definitely be on that gold laner. Joe clears out top side with the Shadow Q. He's not going to have it for the next turtle. Gusta just got the Malefic Gun.
Oh, Malefic Gun
First
very
item,
early
wow.
on. Yeah, first item. I think that indicates that Rrq Akira wants him to join fights pretty early on too. Joe still able to get his orange buff despite King's attempts here.
It's kind of the setup for this turtle. Again, no Ogi Shadow Kill, something that Rrq Akira needs to keep in mind. But Daylight is also brought into the fight, and Gusta ready to respond. So Legion Esports, they gotta be careful about this turtle skirmish though.
Yeah, King wasn't successful in slowing down Joe, so both junglers are at level 8 and gonna be pretty 50-50 with the turtle fight. But Legion again have more tools overall. So Rrq Akira has to slow down the turtle dance a little bit more. Glorious Pathway comes out, Spear of Alpha used, but Luis gets stunned, gets knocked off, gets CC'd by everything under the sun, and Luis is just gone. Legion Esports now on top of the turtle, but 50-50. King gonna be the one to steal it away with Retribution, and Meow gonna be picked up, thrown back into King. A free kill for the Alpha, as now Takashi right on top of Gnart with a Spear of Alpha to finish him off.
First of all, Luis ate everything from Legion Esports, took them their entire asset to bring him down. This pesky Rom Khalid, but second of all, massive dark wave from Takashi to pull 3 people from Legion Esports back who wanted to escape the fight, evacuate, got dragged back in, allowing Rrq Akira to not only find 2 kills, but also the second turtle of the game and the bot tier 1. Now Joe, he's gonna go down again.
Where is Joe going? Oh, Shadow Kill comes out at the last second. Raging Sandstorm, but no flicker being used. I feel like he could have connected that.
Yeah.
But Joe luckily will survive. Rrq Akira regains slight goal advantage.
And what they say, never kill the messenger. That was a warning shot dedicated to Joe's Hayabusa. But at least Legion Esports, they took down top tier 1, so it is a structural trait. But you always got to keep in mind, if they are paying attention, they would have realized this Beatrix has a Malefic gun. So like you said, I think Rrq Akira, they want to start early fights, and a lot of it are going to be centered around the objectives, where you have Luis and Takashi who can constantly disrupt the backline, and Sagan keeping the front line away.
They recognize they need Beatrix to break down the front line. And speaking of, there they go. Exactly doing that. Finding Gnart. Oh, Shadow Kill. Gusta flickers away from King.
Oh!
But he's able to survive just barely. Luis once again not committing flicker. Joe able to walk away. But this Hayabusa not getting the kills he needs.
That is so unfortunate. When he threw out his shurikens, Gusta timed the regeneration, got that extra tick to stay alive. And that is massive if you are Rrq Akira, and a big bummer for Joe.
We think we can see Legion Esports, their momentum starting to slow down a little bit now that Rrq Akira looks a lot more confident to fight. 7th minute of the game, Turtle just respawn. All members of both teams already around the Turtle pit. Let's see what they can do with it.
Rrq Akira should be making the call to stall this out a little bit, because Luis is still waiting for Raging Sandstorm to come back up. So to deal with the middle wave, you got Gusta, they're taking all the farm, but King is just maintaining aggro.
Turtle at 30%, flicker, knockout from Takashi, but Joe still gets the turtle anyway. Glorious Pathway slowing down Rrq Akira from jumping into the backline. Oki Shadow Kill comes out, but it doesn't do enough damage, and that means Gusta picks up the kill on Joe. Has to flicker away from Takashi too. So Legion forced on defensive action.
Well, Takashi just single-handedly ran into the backline and forced away key members of Legion Esports. And unfortunately this time, Rrq Akira didn't get the turtle, but it really does not matter. They got the kill onto Joe regardless, so it's still a net positive for the Latam rep.
You can see how tempo has shifted. Rrq Akira are now accelerating the game since they know they are in control, and Legion, unfortunately, are not actually responding fast enough. Gustav finally got his BOD, actually doing good damage now, and Glorious Pathway used just to make sure Legion can get away from their own tier 2.
You saw that, right? That one rocket.
Yep.
BOD and Malefic gun, first of all, gives you insane range. Turrets are not an issue, but that one blast took out almost 20% of his health bar. This is a big problem for Legion Esports now.
And that's the danger of Beatrix here, and Rrq Akira knows it. They have way more consistent access to damage compared to Legion, who are very constrained by cooldowns. If they don't have their ultimates, they just simply cannot fight, whereas Rrq will always be available. So they can use that to exert pressure around the map.
Shorter cooldown times, and Rrq Akira have been playing around it so well. Once more, Raging Sandstorm is going to be the key that allows Rrq Akira to start fights with Legion Esports. We did see that Malefic roll out for Joe very early as well, as he needed that extra oomph to it. But as long as Luis is around, he's just going to eat it up.
Yeah, another Ogi Shadow Kill. Literally tickles Rrq Akira. Not too sure what the goal was there. Would have been better used to clear a wave instead. And Rrq Akira is just going to continue doing what they're doing.
This is a Lord fight. And if it goes any way, just like the turtle fight early on, Rrq Akira is just going to play with the timing, have Takashi go to the back, flicker out from Hey, not good at all.
Rrq Akira looking to be in very strong spot. Tekashi already jumping in, zoning out again in the mid lane. Vexana not able to get close. Jumping in again. Daylight doesn't do enough damage, but Tekashi finally has the flicker away after being knocked up with the Eternal Guard. A lot of cooldowns being used. Joe jumping in again, but the Yogi Shadow Kill fully soaked. Raging Sandstorm defensively to get away from the Glorious Pathway, and Avatar the Guardian even wasted from Legion Esports, all without achieving anything. And Gusta nearly snipes down Daylight, lands the Renner's Apathy, not able to get the taunt. Here comes Joe again, but he gets knocked up, stunned instantly. That's the jungler of Legion gone. Tekashi doing so much damage because Legion are grouped up under the Revitalize, and they've taken out 2 double kill for Gusta Lagusta.
Oh my goodness, Joe really wanted to make a play happen, but Phobia's passive just bonks you in the head with that big totem, and Rrq Akira finds the objective, the first lord of the game, finally after a drawn-out dance. Legion Esports got to go back to the drawing board. They had the right idea. The dragged-out fight would benefit them, but they have to always remember it's a push and pull. Legion Esports got impatient and paid the price.
Gusta Lagusta just got Blade of Heptases as well, so fully intending to target the squishier members of Legion. Game slowly slipping out of their hands as Rrq Akira, they're just so good at making a 5v5 look like 5 individual 1v1s.
It does seem so. Even Tekashi has been doing the same thing over and over again. Just hop to the back, zone out the Vexana, zone out the Bruno, and there really wasn't much that Legion could do aside from, forcing out his flicker. Malefic gun just got purchased by Daylight, so the extra range to match up with what Rrq Akira has.
Yeah, Legion in a tough spot now. Their utility should allow them to be the ones controlling team fights and splitting up Rrq Akira, but now with a 5k gold lead, even if they do that, it's unlikely that they'll be able to pick anyone off. Joe hasn't even been able to go for Sky Piercer as the Hayabusa still 0 kills.
I think Sagan was building components either for Holy Crystal or Blood Wings, but pivoted to a Winter Crown, which is going to allow Rrq Akira to have an extra layer of utility. The survivability for Zusin matters so much. A push on the top side.
Glorious Pathway just to make sure Rrq doesn't engage, and all they have to do is wait until the minion wave connects and the Glorious Pathway is gone. Legion, at the very least, able to defend their inhibitor. Not too much damage to worry about for now.
Honestly, it doesn't feel good when you use everything and barely take the hell bar. Tekashi though, punish.
Well, finally, an Ogi Shadow kill out, but a beautiful flicker raising Sandstorm into 3 members. Rrq Akira, though, too far behind to follow up, and that means Luis is punished for his overextension. King now by himself in the mid lane, uses ult to get away. Legion finding a breath of fresh air.
Get him. Come on. So close, yet so far. And that's kind of the overzealousness that you mentioned earlier on from Rrq Akira. Luis saw the angle for the big play, but his team did not respond to it as they were not ready at all. Legion Esports finds some room to breathe. They keep all inhibitors alive. 50 seconds until the next Lord, but even then, Rrq Akira have gotten a pretty sizable network injection from the first one.
Yeah, this is not going to be a big obstacle for Rrq Akira, but they got to avoid making mistakes like that going forward because it's a way that Legion Esports could use to slowly claw their way back into this. Tekashi has been doing a good job of basically 1v4ing the entire game, but in that particular situation, you are just making yourself an easy target for the Yogi Shadow kill.
Yeah, the only reason that he's been able to pull it off is because his team was there to back him up.
Hold on. That Luis taking a lot of damage. Quicksand Guard, Raging Sandstorm defensively. Here comes Joe again. Careful, sir. Half of his HP gone in an instant. Both teams disengage.
So 2 big ultimates eliminated right before the Lord spawns. No AOG for Legion Esports. No Raging Sandstorm for Rrq Akira. Bottom way pushing in. Rrq Akira will have to deal with it. And that's going to be a job for Gusta Lagusta.
To be honest, despite Rrq Akira's dominance so far, the game is actually still pretty 50-50. Daylight has been farming pretty evenly with Gusta, just a little bit behind because of his 1 death. The Bruno still scales pretty well into the late game, and if Legion can continue playing like this, Rrq could be in trouble.
Once more, Rrq is waiting for timings. Flicker. In particular, Tekashi gets run over the wall.
Gets pulled over by Joe's Quad Shadow, but he's tanky enough and his team is here. Glorious Pathway comes out the Daylight. That's what we're talking about. Sagan is gone. Football right to the face. It is now a 5v4 in favor of Legion.
The Malefic gun is so good. That extra range, so deceptive.
Spear of Alpha connects on Daylight, but Wind of Nature comes out, killing spree for the Bruno. A flicker, Raging Sandstorm once again, but
Stop
you're missing
fighting.
your DPS. Double
What?
kill for the Bruno. The Rrq Akira making mistakes, prolonging fights where they don't need to.
Why is Rrq Akira fighting that? You should not be fighting. You should be keeping your resources for a potential push. Legion Esports, they're going to turn on to the Lord. Surely, there's no way to contest this. King isn't even back for another 15 seconds.
Conceal, they want hair, but a Terrify instantly puts a stop to their plans. And Joe gets the Lord. The game is instantly reversed. This is what we were worried about for RRQ.
It all started with a bit of an interesting interaction with Takashi. He might be the master of following mobile heroes, but he certainly has no control over that passive that gets brought over the wall. But the fact that Rrq Akira committed to a fight after losing Sagan and I think Luis is a big red flag. Sagan and King, excuse me. The fact that Luis went for the counter engage, committed a flicker just for the Raging Sandstorm like the previous one in front of Legion's base. It's a massive, massive blunder.
It jumped the gun way too much. They already lost Sagan and King, like you mentioned. And when Luis jumped in, Gustav wasn't even close enough to follow up on it. So again, disconnect there. The players playing too fast, a little bit too hyper to try and make up for their mistakes. Glorious pathway now to escort the Lord down. Bottom inhibitor gone. AOG lands in the center. Raging Sandstorm defensively. Sagan gone to Joe's Ogi Shadow Kill, who almost finds Gustav too. He has to use his Wind of Nature just to survive. And now Legion are officially in the driver's seat.
And Legion Esports fired up after yesterday's loss. We talk about this team liking to play that fast game, and they finally found that moment to step on the pedal.
Once again, going in, Nimid inhibitor this time, but the minion wave is cleared up, and they're not close enough to follow on top either. So RRQ will keep mid and top inhibs alive, but for how long?
I know we say that this all happened because of a blunder from Rrq Akira, but one small detail was also the fact that Legion Esports didn't lose that top inhibitor to that pesky cannon minion, which got retributed by Joe, because that would have allowed Rrq Akira to set up a pretty good wave before they contest that second Lord on the bot side. Legion Esports have completely swung that goal into their advantage. I believe it's almost a 5k goal swing.
Yeah, it's even now, and that means Legion looking a lot more comfortable, since that means they'll be able to survive longer and go for more efficient fights. Even Joe now starting to become effective, even after being rendered completely inexistent for most of the game.
Oh, letting that Dusin through and beating it after almost entire world not daring to let it happen. And even with the right idea, right, Malefic Gun, you outrange the Dusin to a certain extent. Daylight chasing her down every single time she is spotted. And to make it even better, the next Lord is going to spawn on the top side, and Rrq Akira are missing a bottom inhibitor.
Yeah, things are looking tough, but again, the game is actually pretty 50-50. A single team fight could determine things for either side, and that means positioning becomes that much more crucial. You cannot jump the gun anymore. Every decision has to be made with impetus in mind.
This is one of the hurdles that Legion Esports tripped over yesterday against Instillio. They had an inhibitor lead, they had Lord control, but they could not close out the game. Let's see if that adjustment that they have made since yesterday is going to pay off. This Lord fight is pivotal.
Daylight dropping Lord to 50, but probably will reset it now that Rrq Akira are walking forward again. A very good way of winning this out is baiting Rrq Akira into them, which has worked so far. They will find Luis isolated. Ogi Shadow Kill on him. Quicksand Guard comes out. Raging Sandstorm. He will escape, and that's a lot of cooldowns used by Legion Esports. They're gonna pull Meow back. Revitalize comes out. Eternal Guard and Avatar the Guardian misses, but Daylight almost takes out Gusta Lagusta. He's still chasing them down. All of Rrq Akira is so low. Unstoppable streak for Daylight on the Bruno. Gusta Lagusta now trapped outside, and the bouncing balls is doing so much damage. Double kill, Wind of Nature, triple kill for Daylight on Legion Esports.
Daylight is the true assassin from Legion Esports, comes in from the flank with a sliding tackle and absolutely broke the ankles of Rrq Akira, taking out two crucial members. Hehe shows up with a flicker, Terrify. Legion Esports looking to take game one.
Yep, the crystal's wide open. Spear of Alpha finds two. Beautifully played. Winter Crown comes out to keep him alive. Gusta Lagusta trying to clear the minion wave. Gets a mega kill, but the crystal is still wide open. There's no minions left. They're still alive. They're still living. But they just blow up. A double kill shut down from here. And with that, Legion Esports will turn things around and claim Game 1